Knives, Sports, and Adventures here again. So it's been a long time since I posted a video, but today's video is going to be worth the wait because I am posting a review with disassembly of the Hogue Compound OTF knife. So this is now my new favorite OTF knife. This is my Microtech Ultratech Tanto. Previous favorite, but there were some things that I never liked about it. Hogue has done all of the things that I didn't like about this knife right on this knife. So first of all, just kind of overview of the knife. The G10 on this knife, you know, it's G10, so it's very grippy. It's nice to hold. It doesn't have any spots that dig into your hand or anything. You know, it looks a little funny, but as far as the shape, and it looks like it would have some spots that dig into your hand, but I mean, Hogue makes grips for firearms, so they have really done this right. The G10 is much better for traction if your hand is wet or sweaty or anything than the aluminum on this Microtech. That's one of the things I did not like about the Microtech. It's just a little slippery and not very grippy when your hands are anything but perfectly dry. The other thing that Hogue has done, if you can see here, I'll try to get in focus. This is the firing stud, okay? See how it slopes up to almost vertical? That makes it very easy to open and close. It's in a safe position now, so it's not engaged, so I can disassemble it. But it makes it very easy to open and close this knife. That sloped portion on the Microtech, I mean, it's okay, but it's kind of tough. And if your hands are wet or slippery or oily or anything, or sweaty, you ain't gonna open this knife. My wife and my sister can open this knife just fine. Neither of them can reliably open or close the Microtech. And this is well oiled and well maintained, and it's not a problem with the knife. That's just how hard they are. So much better design for opening and closing here. The action is pretty similar. I mean, Microtech's aluminum versus aluminum and G10, so you're going to get a little bit of a more precise click on the Microtech, but the action on this is still really good. The other thing about this is the sharpness on the blade here. Okay, so this is an S30V blade, but the heat treat that is on this blade is just outstanding. Okay, my typical sharpness test that I do with my knives is I cut a slice through a bamboo skewer. Okay, and usually a knife will hold about 50 slices through that bamboo skewer before it noticeably decreases in sharpness. That's my benchmark. This knife, I did 100 slices through the bamboo skewer, and it is still sharp enough to shave the hair off my arm. That's in addition to using this knife intermittently for several months, and it still has a beautiful factory edge on there. I have not sharpened this knife at all, and it doesn't need sharpened. So they have done a phenomenal job with the blade on this. The blade on the Microtech, I believe this is 154 cm, I believe. I can't remember exactly, but I mean, this does not hold an edge anywhere near that. I've sharpened that multiple times, and it's not anywhere near the edge holding. It's decent at best as compared with my other knives. Now you will notice this is not the factory pocket clip that goes with this knife. This is the clip off of, I believe it's a Schrade 304. It's their little metal all metal knife. It fits perfectly, but the clip that came with this knife does not hold it securely enough in your pocket to keep it from falling out. And it's not a problem just with mine. It's the clip, the metal that they actually made their clip out of is very thin. And I contacted Hogue about that, and they do not sell any other clips for it at present. So I found one on one of my other knives that I wasn't using that fit, and this is much better. And this is like a $10 knife, and you get a really good clip out of it too. Okay, so let's get to the disassembly part. Oh no, I'm gonna disassemble an OTF knife. Oh wait, it's okay. It's not a Microtech. My warranty is not voided. Yay! Okay, so thumb stud, you know, it's pretty much the same on any other OTF knife, except for this one has a double mainspring. Some have a single mainspring, so that just clips onto either end of the activation bar there. You know, same as any other OTF knife. You've got your top lock and your bottom lock. You know, it really functions the same. The difference here with theirs is this aluminum insert. I'll get some more light on here so you can see that a little bit better. So that aluminum insert is inset into the G10. You can see it's open on this side, so that you can get to the internals of the knife. Really well done. I haven't noticed any play. It's set perfectly. I mean, it's machined into the G10. You can see on the bottom part of the knife there, that G10 is very thin, as it is on the top there as well. You can pop that aluminum portion out. It does just pop out. It's fitting there very tightly, but it does come out. I don't recommend doing that because the G10 is so thin on the bottom and the top here. When I popped mine out, I actually put a little crack in it down here. Didn't affect the structural integrity of the knife or anything, but it did crack a little bit just because the G10 is so thin. So wouldn't recommend taking this out of here, but you can. You can see it's nicely recessed on the top there, but this is thick enough to be, you know, plenty durable. This isn't gonna snap unless you do something really inadvisable with it. Pin pops out there, blade just slides out. They've done a nice job with skeletonizing the tang and not overdoing it. So you still got plenty of tang there. They left it plenty far down in there, so it has a nice stabilizing effect on this. There is a little more blade play on this than there is on the Microtech. It's not enough that it's a bother when you're using the knife. I don't even notice when I'm using it. Slightly more than a Microtech if that's your thing, but the extra grip that the G10 has, and the greatly superior edge holding, I mean, you can see that is still the factory polished edge. You know, after all the use I've given to it, there's no glinting or anything like that on there. A little bit maybe on the very top, but it's still razor sharp. You know, excellent blade. All right, so that is my review of the Hogue Compound. Love this knife. They've done a pretty good job. It doesn't pop out with quite the authority of the Microtech, but part of that is because it's a slightly larger blade. So most people don't realize that with OTF knives, since you are winding the spring to push the blade out, as you slide that up there and then it pops, the heavier the blade is, the harder that thumb stud is to push, because you have to wind the spring that has to be heavy enough to deploy that blade. So the heavier of a blade you have, the harder it's going to be to push your thumb stud to open it. That's why OTF knives have these, you know, aggressive fullers and, you know, grinds off the back, and a lot of them have holes in them. This one has holes in the tang. It's lightening them so that when you have to push that thumb stud, you don't have to push harder to get the blade to come out. Hogue's gone pretty simple on this one. They do have a fuller there kind of along the back of the blade, which is pretty cool. You can see there's a very small spot where the coating has worn off there. This is a physical vapor deposition coating, so it's not quite as durable as like a diamond-like carbon, but it's way more durable than a Teflon or anything like that. You can see it's worn a little tiny bit in a couple spots, but it's not bad. Here's my review of the Hogue Compound. Love it. Best OTF knife on the market. If you've been waiting for a Microtech, but you can't quite get around some of the things that you might not like about it, like the ugly clip or the hard to use thumb stud, this fixes all those problems absolutely go out and get one. It's the best on the market right now.